Hello, everyone. Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga Class today. We're going to do a delightful class to just de-stress our entire body. So not lots of effort, not lots of forceful tension into any of our yoga poses today, really more thinking about relaxation and ease. So what you're going to need for class today is a chair, preferably without arms, so that you can move your legs side to side. You're also going to need a yoga mat, and you're going to need a yoga bolster and a yoga block or something similar to that when you get down to your mat. Once you have all those things, have yourself a seat in your chair comfortably so that your feet are somewhere on your yoga mat relative to the chair. So I've got mine so that I've got room to the left and room to the right of me on mine. So see if you can kind of set yourself up in something similar to that. And then once you have that, bring yourself out to the front half of the chair so that your feet are resting on the floor, and then check in that your feet are resting on the floor approximately hip distance. So for most of us, what that means is, two fists between those big toes is approximately what our hip distance is in our pelvis. Walk your feet forward until you see that your knees kind of line up with the center of the arches of your feet, and then you've got your lower half alignment in check. Then bring your hands to the pelvis and then just kind of roll your pelvis forward and backward a couple times. Just a little bit of mini cat-cow pelvic movement here, just to kind of find the middle of the road for you. When you've found that middle of the road, it should be somewhere near where your sit bones are. Get yourself nice and tall, and then allow yourself to keep your spine perfectly still. And just from those hip joints, just hip hinge slightly forward until you feel weight go down through your legs. If you are not sure if there is weight in your legs, just attempt to pick them up. And if you cannot pick them up, you did a good job. All right, now that you've got that, let's kind of get our upper half and our shoulder blades in a really good position here. So allow yourself to take your hands and bring them to the center of your heart today. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin a little bit so you've got some nice alignment of your skull with your rib cage. And then just take a nice gentle inhale as you lift your arms up. No force or tension, just lift to where you feel comfortable. Reach your hands upward like you're reaching towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just gently bring your arms down and out to the side of you. Feel those shoulder blades kind of rolling back and down as you do that. And then give yourself a little squeeze between those shoulder blades. Feel that those elbows go slightly back when you do that. Keep that contraction. And as you keep that contraction, just allow yourself to gently lower your hands down to your thighs. Now check in that as you did all of that beautiful upper work, you didn't lose that weight bearing through your legs. Allow yourself to lengthen your neck, settle your chin, rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That's its resting position so that the tip of the tongue is touching the back of the top teeth. So like if you were to say the word no, that position of N, that's where that tongue goes. Okay, so we're going to start our de-stressing class doing alternate nostril breathing. So you're going to use your right hand to move between one nostril and the other nostril with your breathing. So the position I like to do is a position where I kind of just bend my index and my middle finger down. My pinky's kind of sitting out to the side. So it's going to be my thumb that is resting against my right nostril and my ring finger that's resting against my left nostril. Okay, so now that you have that, don't close both nostrils at the same time. However, you could if we were doing a breath hold, but we're not going to do a breath hold today. We're doing a de-stressing breathing exercise. So what I'd like you to do is start with your right ring finger against your left nostril. And get that nice, long, beautiful seated posture. And then take a slow, deep inhale into the right nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both nostrils. Open the left nostril, exhale out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that left nostril open. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both nostrils, open the right nostril, and exhale out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right nostril stays open. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both. Open left. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both. Open right. Exhale out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale right. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close both. Open left. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And finally, inhale left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Close left, open right, and exhale out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax your hand down. Maybe do a couple sniffs because I bet you got your sinuses all warmed up, which is good. Working on that exhalation being longer than the inhalation kind of taps into that rest, renew, relaxation, parasympathetic response, which is exactly what we wanted to start class today. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of movement with our breath. So before we start that, what I want to make sure is that we all know how to do what is called Ujjayi breath. So that is your ocean breath or a common yogic breathing pattern that's done with movement. So what I want you to imagine is that there's a mirror resting in front of your mouth. And as you've got that mirror resting in front of your mouth, allow yourself right now to take a nice, deep, slow inhale into your nose. Belly expands outward, and then open your mouth and exhale as you steam up that pretend mirror. So that work that you're doing with your vocal folds on that exhale on the back of your throat, that's the important part of the Ujjayi breath. So let's try that one more time before we use just our nose. So again, that imaginary mirror is there. Take a nice deep inhale into your nose. Belly expands outward. Now open the mouth. Steam up that mirror. So that same noise that you're making as you're exhaling and steaming up that imaginary mirror, this time, let's do it. But as you exhale, you're only exhaling out through your nose. So nice deep inhale into the nose. Belly expands, very nice. Now, can you make that sound and make that control as you exhale through your nose? I always say it's kind of like listening to Darth Vader, right? But it's also called the ocean breath. So I want you to imagine as you're inhaling, that's one of the ocean waves lapping against the sand. And as you're exhaling, that's another ocean wave exhaling against the sand. So as we do our gentle movements today, I really want you to kind of see if you can be mindful of hearing and feeling that breath at the same time. Okay, so let's go through some movements now. So take your hands and bring them out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you inhale, lift your arms upward. And then as you exhale, ocean breath, hear it, slowly drop your hands gently down towards the floor where your feet are. Now your hips and your knees are still hip distance, so your belly probably got trapped by your thighs here. That's okay. Walk your hands one at a time up onto your thighs. And as you inhale, try to keep your belly on your thighs, but try to straighten your arms as you lift yourself up and gaze up into a modified cow pose. And now, ocean breath, exhale. Can you slowly lower yourself down again, dropping the hands to the floor? All right, let's do that one more time. Walk the hands up onto the thighs. Inhaling, lifting the chest, arching through the back, lengthening through the neck, gazing up, but that belly is touching that thigh. And then as you exhale, hear that sound, slowly drop yourself all the way down to the floor. Now keep yourself down this time, gazing back at the back of your chair. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale into that belly, starting to stretch out that tight back of ours. And then gently exhale out. One more time for me. Inhaling into the belly, stretching through that low back on that inhale.
And then just exhaling out, keep the neck relaxed, gazing back through the back of the chair there. Very nice. Walking the hands back up onto the knees, and then walk your feet out. So as you start to walk your feet out, all of a sudden the belly comes off of the thighs. And so now in this position, with your feet walked out, make sure they're about 2 or 3 feet away from one another. Check in that your feet and your toes are pointing approximately 45-degree angles from your chairs. And then slowly allow yourself to push into your feet. Feel that engagement through your hamstrings, glutes, and back muscles, and then gently curl yourself all the way back up. You got it. All right, right elbow. Gently drop that right elbow down onto your right thigh. And keeping the legs into this gentle open position, take your left hand now and inhale it up to the side. And then as you exhale, just gently reach your arm up and over your body here. It's a nice, good, beautiful stretch for the side of those abdominal muscles, as well as the side muscles of the back. Now, can you, in this position, as you do this and stay in this, get your left elbow as straight as you can, whatever's comfortable for your left shoulder. But I want you to pay attention to your left knee here. So allow your left knee to gently push out to the side and make sure that you still have weight into your left sit bone. All right, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gently gaze up to that left elbow. Now take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. And then inhale, lifting the arm up. And then as you exhale, bringing yourself up to the upright position. And then taking that left elbow, placing that left elbow onto the left thigh. Making sure as you do that, that right sit bone stays on your chair. And then right arm here, inhale it out to the side of your body. And then as you exhale, gently bring it up and over your body. So in this position, beautiful stretch through the side of our body, abdominals, quadratus lumborum, which is a big, gigantic muscle in our low back. So allow yourself to, in this position, just gently push out that right knee, sit into that right sit bone. Make sure that your body's kind of rotated upwards so that armpit is going towards the ceiling. Straighten that right elbow if you can. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then turn your gaze towards your right elbow here. All right, 2 nice deep diaphragmatic breaths. So take a deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Right arm, inhale, lifting it up. And then as you exhale, bringing your body up to that center position. Very nice here. Now, slowly allow yourself to just drop the right knee in front of you. So with your legs already in a split stance, all you had to do is just drop your right leg in. Left leg, bring it slightly out to the side. And then in this position, just try to find that alignment where your right knee kind of stacks directly underneath your left knee. And then have your toes turned under unless that is uncomfortable for you. I like to turn my toes under, so I'm getting a nice little plantar fascia stretch while I'm opening up through my hip. In this position, take both of your hands and just gently rest them onto your left thigh. That just allows you to have a nice, good rib cage position. All right, this is all about a pelvic tilt here. So it's all about taking that pelvis and tilting it under. So take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. Feel that beautiful stretch to the front of your thigh. Staying right here, take a nice deep inhale and exhaling out. And let's do that one more time. Lengthen that neck, settle that chin, nice deep inhale. And exhaling out. Now keep your pelvic tilt. Take your right arm up and out to the side. Take a nice deep inhale. Lift the right arm up. And then as you exhale, side bend once again over that body. Keep that tilt as you drop that knee down. 2 more breaths here. Nice deep inhale in. And exhale out. How are you doing with that ocean breath? Can you hear that exhale? Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. And exhaling out. Inhale, right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right arm down. Take that right leg and turn it up and open. Take that left leg and turn it down and closed. Placing that right leg now to the side of your chair, dropping that left leg in alignment with your
left hip, and then again, turning the toes under if you want a nice good plantar fascia stretch. If that's not for you, then just have your foot flat onto the floor. Once you have yourself in that position, both hands, go ahead and place them on the thighs to begin. But we're beginning with a pelvic tilt of the pelvis to really get some good length through these hip flexors. So allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. Feel that beautiful opening through the front of your thighs. Allow yourself to lengthen your neck, settle your chin, keep that tilt. Let's go through 2 breaths here. So nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. One more beautiful breath in. And exhaling out. All right, staying in that pelvic tilt, staying in that gentle opening. Left arm, bring it up to the side of your body on the left. Take a nice deep inhale. Reach it up in the air. And then as you exhale, side bend over, but keep that pelvic tilt as you're in that position. Give me 2 deep breaths here. Deep inhale. Can you make sure you're making that ocean breath on that exhale? And one more time, nice deep inhaling in and exhaling. Beautiful. Left arm, inhale it up into the air and then exhale it down. Take that left leg and turn it back out. And you are right where you started. All right, now keeping your legs nice and wide in this position, we're just going to do a very gentle spinal twist with traction. So if you are somebody that's got osteoporosis or scoliosis and you're like, I don't like to do any twisting of my spine and sitting or standing, don't. I'm with you. But if you give yourself appropriate traction of your spine in a seated position, it is safe to do that as long as you don't go to any sort of end range position or into any pain. So here's what I just want you to try. So just place your hands on your thighs, take your shoulders away from your ears, because that's probably where most of us are right now. So just pull your shoulder blades back and down. Now it's all about the triceps. So can you just gently use your triceps to push your rib cage up and away from your pelvis? Take a deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, just gently drop the left shoulder forward. Allow your neck to lengthen, chin to settle into the throat, and then just gently gaze over the right shoulder. Now the left knee, try to push that left knee out to the side. All right, let's do 2 beautiful breaths here. So deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale in and exhale out. On this inhale, derotate your neck, derotate your spine, bring that left shoulder back to that starting position. Very nice. Let's try it on the other side. So weight bearing onto the hands, onto the thighs, shoulders, stop wearing them as earrings. So pull them away from you as you already get that length through your body. And then you're using your arm strength, your triceps here, to lift your rib cage up and off of the pelvis. Once you have that position, take a nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, it's just a gentle drop of the right shoulder forward. So nothing aggressive. Once you find that shoulder dropped forward, right elbow should be fairly straight. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and gently gaze over your left shoulder. And 2 deep breaths here. Let's see if you can get that beautiful ocean breath. Nice slow inhale in and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Beautiful, slow, deep inhale in and exhaling out. Inhale, derotating the neck, derotating the trunk as that right shoulder comes back. Okay, so here's what we're going to do to finish ourselves in our seated position before we move from our chairs. We're going to do a little bit of flow with all of those 3 things that we just did. Okay, so just play with it. Listen to me and see if you can make your movement match my movements. Most importantly, just try to breathe. All right, so your feet are wider than shoulder width. Your toes are pointed outward. Take your hands and gently rest your hands beside your body. All right, here we go. Take a nice deep inhale, lift your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, forward bend, dropping yourself down to the floor, placing the hands on the floor as you gaze back to the back of the chair.
Take an inhale, push up, straighten your elbows as you lift your spine away from the floor. And then as you exhale, slowly, slowly bend the elbows, let yourself bend down further, gazing behind the chair. Very nice. Now, in this position, left hand comes onto left thigh, right hand comes onto right thigh. Slowly inhale as you segmentally curl your spine all the way back up. And then as you exhale, drop your right knee down and in, left leg comes out. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, tuck that tailbone under, feel that opening of your front of your right hip. All right, here we go. Take a nice deep inhale, lifting the right arm up, and then as you exhale, dropping that right arm over. Inhale, lift that arm up in the air again, and then as you exhale, slowly drop that hand down. Take an inhale, open up through the right leg, and then as you exhale, drop that left leg down and in. You've got it. Go to your pelvis here, nice deep inhale, and then exhale, tucking that tailbone under. Left arm, inhaling it up into the air, exhaling, creating that side bend here. Left arm, inhaling it back to the ceiling, and then exhaling it all the way down. Left leg, inhaling, opening the left leg, and exhaling here, placing the hands onto the thighs, shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale, straighten through the elbows. As you exhale, drop your right shoulder forward, gaze behind your left shoulder. Take an inhale here, lengthen, and as you exhale, de-rotate yourself back to the center. Lengthening again, inhaling, straightening through that spine, exhaling, dropping the left shoulder as you gently gaze over the right shoulder. Inhaling, lengthening all the way back up and exhaling here. One more forward bend, arms out to the side. Give me a gorgeous inhale as you lift all the way up and exhaling forward, bending over that chair. Take a nice deep inhale. Lift your spine away from the chair as you straighten your elbows. And then as you exhale, gently, gently, gently dropping yourself down, allowing yourself to stay here this time. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Nice. Right hand onto the right thigh, left hand onto the right thigh. Start to push into the floor with your feet. And then as you inhale, allow yourself to slowly, segmentally curl that spine up until you end in a seated position. Very good. So how did we de-stress with our movement? Number one, we were hearing our breath. Number two, between moving and breathing, chances are you couldn't worry about anything else happening in life in that moment. So hopefully you were right here and in the now. Beautiful. All right, so here's where we're going. We're going down to our mat into child's pose. So what I'd like you to do is gently allow yourself to stand off your chair, and then move your chair away from your yoga mat, and then place yourself down on your yoga mat in child's pose, making sure that you've got a bolster and a block somewhere near you. Okay, here we are in child's pose. So let's just take a moment to check in with our alignment here. Can you kind of just gaze at your knees for a second, make sure that they're hip distance apart? Look straight back under your knees and make sure that those toes and heels line up with your sit bones and your knees and they're not pointed inward or outward. And then just gently settle your sit bones down towards your heels. Let your belly kind of fall and relax into your thighs and your chest fall and relax towards those knees. For today, allow yourself to just let your elbows bend down onto the floor and then let the crown of your head rest onto your yoga mat. Now, if you've got a lot of stiffness in your spine that does not allow the crown of your head, so where your hairline is, to meet your yoga mat, go ahead and reach for that yoga block right now and rest the yoga block onto your yoga mat and rest the crown of your head onto that yoga block. We just want to make sure that as you're doing that, that your spinal muscles stay completely relaxed as we go through a couple of nice, slow, deep ujjayi or ocean breaths here. So take a nice, gentle, slow, deep inhale into your belly. And then slowly exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice, slow inhale into the belly. And slowly exhaling out. Then begin to engage your triceps as you push yourself up onto your hands. And then walk your hands forward until you find yourself in tabletop or hands and knees position. Now, as you find the hands and knees position, make sure that the hips are stacked directly on top of the knees and walk your hands so that they are directly underneath the shoulders as far as the wrists and the elbows are concerned. Index fingers, point those forward, thumbs, bring them inward. Now, in this position, what I'd like you to do is just allow yourself to put yourself in cow pose. So that means sinking your belly down, lifting your tailbone up, dropping your shoulder blades back and down, lifting your chest, lengthening your neck, and looking up. And so just stay there for a second and just slowly rock yourself front and back. Just rock, just rock, just rock. If your elbows are really bent, see if you can get those elbows predominantly straight. And as you're rocking here, all you're doing is just gently lengthening through the abdominals, giving those spinal joints a little bit of movement. And then allow yourself to find full cat pose. So usually with the exhale, but just go ahead and tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly button up and in, spread through those shoulder blades, lengthen the neck, chin to chest, gaze at your belly button here. And then in this position, doing the same, just gently let yourself rocking forward and backward, starting to open up through different parts of your paraspinal muscles, allowing those joints of your low back to say thank you, thank you, thank you, as we're de-stressing our body here. And then bring yourself back to the tabletop position. Now let's go through 3 breaths as we go through those cat-cows. Allow yourself to rock where you feel you need to be today. So it might be that you're a little bit more on your hands or a little bit more on your knees in your cat and in your cow. Just play with where you feel the most tension and breathe into that so that we can really do an excellent job of de-stressing this body today. Make sure that weight's staying in those index fingers and thumbs so that your wrists are not getting too tired. All right, here we go. So ocean breath here. Can you inhale and sink the belly and lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, lift that chest, lengthen that neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, can you pull that belly up and in, tuck that tailbone under, spread between those shoulder blades, chin to chest, gaze into that belly button. Inhaling. And exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. Now, at the very top of this cat, be the angriest cat you can, and just slowly start to walk your hands back as you slowly keep that angry cat and settle your sit bones down to your heels, and then slowly walk those hands forward, keeping that curl as the crown of your head goes to the floor, and you get that beautiful elongation of your back muscles. All right, check in with your feet. Make sure that they haven't lost their alignment. And then let's go through 2 more breaths here. So nice, deep, slow inhale. And exhaling out. Deep, gentle inhaling in. And exhaling out. Then slowly bring yourself up to hands and knees again. But once you get yourself with your hips stacked directly on top of the knees, keep walking the hands up to the left corner, but don't walk any further than your hips falling forward. So kind of keep the alignment of the hips and see how far can I take that right hand forward. Once you have that right hand as far forward as it can, slide the left hand back a little tiny bit. Allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, drop down on your left elbow and then really sit back into your right sit bone. Imagine that right sit bone finding its way to that right heel. Obviously, that's not possible, but sit as much as you can and get that beautiful opening through that right latissimus and right shoulder. Gently rest the crown of your head down onto that left hand or forearm. And then take a nice deep inhale into the belly here. And then slow exhaling out. Nice, deep, gentle inhale into the belly. And slow exhaling out. And then straightening that left elbow, nice good tricep work there, walking that right hand back. And then once you have yourself back in hands and knees, doing the exact same thing. So keeping the hips stacked on top of the knees, but walking the hands up to the right corner of your mat as far as you can until that hip starts to fall forward, and then you know that you have gone too far. And then just gently bringing the right hand back a little tiny bit for support, allowing yourself in this position to take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, dropping that right elbow down on the side of the mat, and then really focus on that left sit bone. So sit back into that left sit bone. Imagine you're pulling it back into that heel, feeling that opening through that left arm, that left latissimus muscle. Maybe dropping the crown of your head down to your forearm or your wrist, wherever you are. All right, let's do 2 deep breaths into this side of the body. Nice deep inhaling in and exhaling out. And one more time here. Nice deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Using that right hand and tricep and pushing yourself back up and then walking your hands back. Once you have your hands walked back, we're going to grab our block and grab our bolster and use them for support today. So obviously you could use other things other than bolsters and blocks, but it's what we've got since it's a yoga class. Allow yourself to lay down on your right side. Your bolster is going to be a makeshift pillow today. So allow yourself to position your left leg, your left leg, so that the leg is just off the side of your yoga mat. And then place the yoga block, the yoga block on top of the left thigh, and then gently lay the right foot and the knee on top of the left so that the yoga block is gently placed between the two thighs. It gives you something to kind of gently contract into and keep stability through your lower half. Hips and knees are stacked. Once you have that position, gently allow yourself to lay down onto your left shoulder, and then you're just using the bolster right now as a support for your head to keep your head in somewhat of a neutral alignment so that you're not in an end range side bend. Okay, we're just going to be doing some nice, good de-stressing rotation through the upper half of our body. So here's what I want you to imagine, and I often reference this with spinal twist. When we think of a really wet sponge, right, and you wring that wet sponge out, all of that water gets released. Well, we're going to do that in this position to kind of wring out the upper part of our rib cage, which oftentimes holds a lot of tension, particularly in the front of our chest muscles because of sitting and poor posture and blah, blah, blah. I could go on forever, right? So let's just do some nice, good wringing out of the upper part of our rib cage before we lay down on our mat. So allow yourself just to stack your palms one on top of the other. Again, your knees, your hips, and your feet are all in beautiful alignment. So keeping the left hand where it is, the right hand is the hand that's going to be moving, but the head is also going to be moving. So allow yourself to take a gentle inhale. And as you inhale, let your head follow the hand upright. And then as you exhale, gently let that arm fall behind you to wherever is comfortable for you. Your gaze moves with your hand. So allow the neck to rotate with the trunk. Now check in that top knee is still against that yoga block. That's keeping your lumbar spine stable in this position. Once you have yourself here, think about where that right chest is and take a nice deep inhale into it. And then as you exhale, just slowly lower that right hand further behind you. Keep that gaze going back with you. Beautiful rotation through the upper half of your body here, just wringing out that sponge. One more breath into that right chest. Deep inhale in and exhaling out. Keeping the gaze with the right hand. Inhale that arm and that gaze up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring the gaze of the hand back forward. You did it. All right, now take the left elbow, bend it, right hand, place it on the floor. Nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, push yourself up into a seated position and just flip yourself to the other side of your mat. Of course, you could absolutely just do a 180 and rotate yourself to the other side of your mat, whatever suits your fancy. But bring your bolster up to the opposite side to where your head is. Take your yoga block, and once you have your right knee and ankle in line with the outside of your right side of your yoga mat, place that yoga block on top of the right thigh, and then just gently place the left on top of it. Once you have that position, gently lower yourself down onto the yoga bolster for your head so that you've got some nice, good neutral support for your head and your neck. Okay, now let's do this all over again on this side to open up and wring out that tension through our left chest and our left upper spine area. So take your two palms and place them together again. The gaze must go with the hand. So we don't want to create any excessive tensions or problems in our neck just trying to de-stress our bodies. So make sure as you rotate your hand behind you, the gaze goes with you. All right, here we go. So start with an inhale as you're lifting your hand up and lifting your head up. And then as you exhale, allow that gaze and that hand to go behind you. Make sure that left leg stays in contact with that block so that you're not using your low back here. All right, so keep your gaze turned behind you. See where that left hand and arm is. Now that left chest area, that's probably where you're feeling a little bit of love right now. Let's de-stress that a little bit more. So allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale into your left chest. And then as you exhale, just keep that gaze going back, slowly lower that left hand towards the floor. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into that left chest. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering that left hand as the gaze goes back behind you. All right, so on the inhale, move the eyes, gaze, and the hand together. So inhaling, lifting that left hand all the way up as it comes towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, slowly rotating it down in front of you. Beautiful job. Excellent rotation safely for your spine to kind of really wring out any tension, particularly from seated posture activities where we're using our hands and our in front of us. Okay, now bend that right elbow, left hand on the floor, take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, push yourself back up into a seated position. Allow yourself to not get rid of your block or your bolster. We're going to be using it in a second, but take your yoga block and just place it to the side of your body. Slowly allow yourself to come back up on hands and knees momentarily just to do one more child's pose. And then allow yourself to rest your sit bones back onto your heels. Now have your bolster close enough to you that you can rest your arms onto your bolster. Nice, good stretch the shoulders. Now, obviously, if your shoulders don't need a strong stretch because of any issues with your shoulders, just rest your elbows back down onto the floor. But if you want to, allow yourself to reach your hands up and over the bolster. In this position, take a nice deep inhale as you pull your rib cage forward, and then as you exhale, slowly begin to drop your head downward towards the floor as you're reaching those arms forward. Now, sit back into those sit bones. Allow yourself to get that beautiful opening through that upper rib cage and your shoulder joints here. Take a deep inhale into your belly, and then slowly exhaling out. Deep inhale into the belly, and then slowly exhaling out. Very nice. Walk your hands off the bolster onto your mat and slowly bring yourself back up. And then take your bolster to the center of your yoga mat. We are going to do a delightful inversion for our low back. So at this point, we've pretty much de-stressed the half to upper half of our body. So let's continue that with de-stressing the lower half of our body. So you won't need your yoga block just yet, but we will use it at the very end of class. But allow yourself to bring your right hip up to the front corner of your yoga bolster. Knees are bent, feet are flat, and allow yourself in that position to slowly lower yourself down onto your right elbow. Now, obviously, you could do this on the left side, whichever works for you. Once you lower yourself down onto your right elbow, lower yourself down onto your right shoulder. Then grabbing your legs with your hands, take a nice deep inhale, and as you brace through your abdominals, exhale and twist yourself over into an inversion. Now, what does an inversion mean? It means that our pelvis is higher than our heart. And so allow yourself to find your inversion position today. Move your bolster or your pillows or whatever you're doing so that you feel that your entire pelvis is comfortably on the bolster. And then once you've done that, allow yourself to gently bring your knees to your chest, lengthen your neck, settle your chin towards your throat, and just relax your feet here. And take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then slowly exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And slowly exhaling out. And then allow yourself to keep your left knee to your chest. Slowly place the right foot on the floor. Once your right foot is on the floor, if you already feel tension in the front of your thigh, just stay right here. If you don't feel tension in the front of your thigh, then just gently allow yourself to bring the right leg down until you start to feel a little bit of tension in that thigh. If you're feeling that you're being blocked by your bolster, just kind of move your bolster so that you can get your position, your foot position so that you feel a bit of gentle tension into the right thigh. Now, we're not doing a lot of strong engagement to open up the hip flexors today. It's gentle. So just have yourself in a position that feels comfortable for you. Take your hands to the underside of your left knee. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, just gently bring that left knee to the chest. Elbows are kind of tucked down and in, neck is long, chin is gently settled into your throat. And then take your left toes and point them up towards your head. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of left hamstring opening while we're doing some right hip flexor opening. A double duty. Well, let's do it. So gently take that inhale. Can you use your ocean breath as you start to straighten your knee? And then as you exhale, gently let that leg come back down. You've got it. So nice deep inhale, lengthening through those hamstrings and sciatic nerve on the left. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale. Lengthening. Don't let your right leg come off the floor. And then as you exhale, just gentle lowering. Very nice. Taking your right hand from underneath that left leg and then slowly slide the right foot up until it's flat. And once you have it flat, take a nice deep inhale and lift that knee to your chest. All right, so now right knee is to your chest. Slowly let yourself drop your left foot down to the floor. Once the left foot is down to the floor, once again, if you already feel tension in the front of your thigh here, don't go any further. But if there's not much tension in the front of your thigh yet, just slowly allow yourself to lengthen that leg down until you feel a bit of beautiful tension through the front of the left thigh. Then take your hands and bring your hands to the underside of the right knee. Once you have yourself in that position, elbows are tucked in and down, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a nice deep inhale here and exhale and gently pull the right knee to your chest. Make sure to keep some component of the left foot on the floor. So if it's popping off the floor, bend your knee and get it back on the floor before we start with this right hamstring. All right, so right toes, point them up towards the ceiling or your head, however you want to look at that. And then take a nice slow deep inhale and begin to lengthen that leg as you straighten that knee. And then as you exhale, gently relaxing it down. Let's do that again. Nice deep inhale as you're lengthening up. And exhaling as you settle down. And one more time for me. Inhaling, lifting, lengthening. Left leg stays on the floor, exhaling and relaxing. Beautiful job. Now, slowly let go of the left hand from underneath the knee. Allow that left leg to slide up until the foot is flat. And then take a nice deep inhale and lift that left leg up towards your chest. Hands around both shin bones. And then as you exhale, bring those knees into your chest. Now, in this position, settle your chin, allow your neck to lengthen. Just allow the beauty of this inversion to do what it needs to do. And so really focus on that Ujjayi ocean breath. So see if you can get that control of that breath today. And take a deep inhale into your belly here. Push that belly all the way into those thighs. Stretch out that low back in this decompressed position. And then as you exhale, just gently let the knees fall a little closer to the chest. Let's do that 2 more breaths. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then as you exhale, slowly, slowly letting go. And then one more time, deep inhale in. And then as you're exhaling, gently, gently relaxing. All right, well, we're in just the perfect position to play with a modification of happy baby. So let's do it. And so rather than your hands being around the front of your shin bones here, take your hands to the side of your shins, depending on your flexibility. If you've got the ability to grab the side of your feet, go for it. Today, if you've got the ability to take your index and your middle finger and find that big toe on each foot, go for it. So you pick your flexibility level. And then take a gentle inhale and slowly let the knees fall out to the side as you bring the feet up to the ceiling. Now you're in an inversion, so don't allow yourself to try to bring your feet up and over your head. Just at home, find that straightening of your knees that puts your feet onto the ceiling position. So it's probably less than you think. Now that you're in this position, hands on the big toes, hands on the outside of the feet or hands on the shin bones. Take a nice gentle inhale. And then as you exhale, picture pulling your knees towards the yoga mat. All right, so we're in a pretty exposed position here, but I want us to do a couple of nice deep inhales into that pelvis, particularly that pelvic floor. So find your Ujjayi breath and take a nice deep inhale into that pelvic floor. And then exhaling out. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin one more time. Inhaling into the pelvic floor, really spreading, opening up through that pelvis and that low back. And then as you exhale, those knees maybe settle a little closer towards that yoga mat. Very nice. Releasing your hands from your toes your shins or the outside of your feet, gently bringing your knees back in hip distance and settling the knees to the chest one last time. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Just simply allow yourself to push the bolster away from your pelvis until your pelvis is on your yoga mat. And then allow yourself, you can roll the bolster by kicking it until it's away from your feet. Once you've done that, allow yourself to take your right leg straight to the center of your mat, your left foot on top of your right thigh, your right hand to your left knee, and your left hand out to the side of your body. Nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale slowly, just very, very slowly, let that left knee come to the right. Let that pelvis lift, let that low back lift, let that rib cage lift, but keep that left shoulder blade down and then lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then turn your gaze towards that left hand. Take a nice, deep, slow inhale into the diaphragm, into your belly. Can you make your ocean breath today? And then exhaling out. One more time here. Nice, deep inhaling in. And then exhaling out. Gently bringing your head back to the center, starting at that left rib cage and derotating rib cage, followed by low back, followed by pelvis. Finally, unrotate that hip and then place the left foot on the floor. Slide the right leg up, place the left leg down in the center of the mat, and then place the right foot on top of the left thigh, left hand to the right knee, right hand out to the side of the body. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, start to bring that hip over, or that right knee over to the left. Feel the hip stretch, feel the pelvis stretch as it lifts, low back as it lifts, rib cage as it lifts. But keep that right shoulder blade down and then lengthen your neck, settle your chin, turn your gaze to that right hand. All right, Ujjayi breath. Can you make two beautiful ones happen? Nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. And gently turning your gaze back to the center, starting at that right rib cage, lowering it first, followed by the low back, followed by the pelvis, followed by the hip. Placing the right foot on the floor, sliding the left leg up, gently letting yourself roll over to your right or left side. Bottom elbow, top hand, pushing yourself up into a seated position. And we're going to end in a beautiful incline pose, since we already did a decline or an inversion pose. So allow yourself to reach and grab that bolster. Place your yoga block on the end of your yoga mat. I'm going to use mine in the middle position today, but you could do a higher incline or you can do a lower incline. Whatever you feel comfortable doing at home, that's what I would work on doing. And then once you have your yoga block in the position, take the very top of the yoga bolster, place it on the yoga block, and then allow yourself to allow that yoga block to lay down to the yoga mat. And then turn your body so that your sacrum, the center of your pelvis, is what is gently resting against the bottom of that yoga bolster. We're going to be working with a little bit of movement of our hips today once we get into this incline position. So allow yourself to bend your knees up, have your feet approximately hip distance apart. Use your biceps to allow yourself to lower to your yoga bolster so that you're not straining your back. You could easily also use your triceps and place your hands on the floor. So whichever one of those you prefer to do, I am going to use my biceps today. And then gently allow yourself to lay down onto your bolster. Now, once you have yourself down onto your bolster, check in that you've got a comfortable position of your pelvis, of your low back, of your rib cage. Your neck is long, your chin is gently settled into your throat. And then you're probably pretty good here. So today for your arms, the first thing I want you to do is just gently rest your arms down to the side of your yoga bolster. You're getting some gentle extension through your shoulders here. So if you're somebody that's got maybe a little bit too much wiggle room for your shoulder joints, do not rest your arms down and out like this. Just go ahead and just rest them over your belly area so that your humerus or your arm stays into a neutral position and you're not
tensioning that biceps and that anterior capsule. So you kind of pick your poison, which one works better for you between those two. All right, now that you've done that, allow yourself to lay the left leg straight down on your yoga mat. And if you can, take a look for a second to see that it's in the center of your yoga mat, and then just gently place your right ankle to the inside of your left knee. All right. So we're de-stressing, right? So let's do something nice and gentle here to de-stress through our hips. So all I want you to do in this position is pay attention to the left sit bone onto your yoga mat. And so once you have that, slowly take a deep inhale into your belly, diaphragmatic breath. And then as you exhale, just gently let that right knee fall out to the side. Bottom of the foot will turn and place itself onto the knee, but just feel where is comfortable for you as you let that knee gently fall out to the side. And then once you have that, slide the left foot up and place the left foot next to the right foot. Pay attention to where the right sit bone is on your mat. Don't let it move. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly let that knee fall out to the side so that the bottoms of the feet are touching one another. Now, gently rest your body. Relax through your shoulders, relax through your neck. Let yourself settle right here. Ending with a gentle opening through your inner thighs. So let's take 2 nice deep inhales all the way down to that pelvic floor and that belly. So slow, deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, just slowly exhaling, hearing that gorgeous ocean wave today, ocean breath. And one more time, nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, just slowly letting go, slowly hearing that breath. Now gently resume just normal breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. And just start to pay attention to your toes. Make sure that you're not forcing and pushing your toes into one another, but just feel. Where are your pinkies relative to one another? Your fourth toes, your middle toe, your second toe, your big toes. Are they touching at all? Go to the outside of your feet and feel the outside of the right foot touching the mat and the outside of the left foot touching the mat. Outside of your ankle, can you feel those equally touching the mat? Or do you have one hip that just isn't giving up as much as the other? And go to the outside of your gluteals, your buttock. And do you equally feel those on the floor? And then move up to that point where you feel your back first touching that bolster. Moving up your spine, finding that point where you feel your right shoulder blade and your left shoulder blade touching those the bolster. Does it feel the same on each side? And then depending on what arm position you pick today, just feel what your forearms are touching, what your elbows are touching, if they're touching something. And then go down to your hands without moving them. And there's your pinky finger and ring finger and middle finger and index finger and thumb, all contacting the same surface. What do each one of those fingers feel? And then finally, just come up to your head. Feel your head resting on that bolster. Imagine how big of a circle that head might be making on that bolster. Eyes are relaxed. Your face is relaxed. Your tongue is happily resting on the roof of your mouth. Let yourself just stay here for just a couple more breaths. Ease, de-stressing the body. And then very slowly, let's start with that left leg first. Start to very gently bring that left knee back up to an upright position as the bottom of that foot lands onto your yoga mat, and then repeating that onto the right side, slowly bringing that right knee up as the foot comes onto the floor. And then just allow yourself to let your knees rock a little bit side to side. Rocking, oscillation, gentle movements really relax us. And then when you're ready, pick a side that you're going to roll to, but just slowly move your hips a little bit to the opposite side and then gently let yourself roll over onto that elbow and then pushing yourself up into a seated position. Finding yourself in an easy pose. Hands are to your hearts and smiles are on our faces. Let's take a nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. And thank you for joining me today.